Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, I hope you are fine. Today we will go to the next unit, unit number 2.1, page number 41. I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King Jr. Before reading the lesson, let's talk about who Martin Luther King was and the title of this lesson, I Have a Dream. What does it mean? First of all, Martin Luther King Jr. is a historical personality in the history of the world and particularly in the history of United States of America. He was an American, a black American. Martin Luther King was the revolutionist, the activist who fought for the rights of the black people in America in the mid 20th century. He was very famous orator. Orator means speaker also. He made best speeches in the world. And I Have a Dream is the character of his speech. I Have a Dream is the title of his speech, the historical speech he made in Washington in 1960s in the presence of almost 2,20,000 black people who came from all over America to listen to him. Now the question arises, what were they listening and why Martin Luther King called them up there in Washington? In fact, Martin Luther King observed that the rights of the black people in America were violated. They didn't have even basic rights of humanity. It was the transgression, the violation of civil rights of the people, particularly of black people in America. He fought for that, but he called a fight in peace, not fight with weapons, rather a peaceful procession and protest against the white Americans. In America, he observed that the black people did not have the basic rights. They did not have the rights to live in good houses. They lived in ghettos. Ghettos mean the slum areas, the small huts in the corners of the cities where the life was so poor. They didn't have the basic right of vote even. They didn't have education facilities. They could not join the parks where the white people went. They could not eat in the hotels where the white people ate. All the facilities which were open for the white people were almost banned for the black. So it was a very miserable situation for the black people in America in 90s and after mid 90s. That was the background in which he made a call to all the black Americans to listen to him, and so he made a great speech in the presence of 2 lakh people. I Have a Dream is one of them. So let's go to the questions now, dear students. Unit outcomes, let's see. By the end of this unit, students will be able to read and comprehend the lesson. You will understand the lesson. Understand the message of the text. Comprehend the theme means central idea. Motivation to develop leadership qualities because you are reading about a leader. Orientation for making speech. It's the best speech of the world. So you will have also a wish, an ambition, an orientation, an excitement to make speeches of your own also. Learn personal pronouns. So as grammar is concerned, we'll go to after noun. We have already covered. Now we'll go to personal pronouns. Next. Here we have pre-reading. Before reading, we should have some ideas very clear to us. At the end of this lesson, we have some questions like this. Question number one is Martin Luther King Jr., the great American civil rights activist. This is a question about him. Civil rights activist means civil rights, you must know the rights, the civil rights, right for the common people, common citizens. Those are the civil rights. So because common people, the black common people, the Negroes in America did not have rights, so he was activist. He was very active member of the movement who were fighting for the rights of the black people in America. Number two, Emancipation Proclamation. This is, students, very important terminology. Emancipation means freedom, independence. Proclamation means announcement. This is a historical term. In fact, 100 years before Martin Luther King, the President of America, Abraham Lincoln, in 1862, made a proclamation, an announcement of emancipation, freedom, that no black person in America will be slave, because before 1863 there was a legal slavery in America. It was Abraham Lincoln in 1862 who first of all went against this slavery and made a rule, made a law in America, and that law is called Emancipation Proclamation. Means the black people will be free now. They will not be slaves. They will have the basic rights of speech, basic right of movement, and basic right of education and everything. The question number three, the life of Negro after 100 years of Emancipation Proclamation. So Martin Luther King almost came after 100 years of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was 19, almost 1863, 62, 63, and so was Martin Luther King 1963. So that was 100 years of emancipation. The life of Negro after 100 years of emancipation was also very poor. The Emancipation Proclamation did not, in fact, affect the life of Negroes in America. In spite of spending 100 years after Emancipation Proclamation, they did not have still the basic rights which are very necessary for human beings. They were deprived of basic rights. Therefore, Martin Luther stood in support of his people, and he launched a peaceful war, a war without weapons, a peaceful protest against the white people who were overruling their rights. And the condition of the black people in America was very bad. 1963, not but beginning of, not an end, it should be end, not an end but beginning of movement. 1963 was the beginning of the movement. Again, it was the restart of a movement. The movement that was started by Abraham Lincoln did not stop. No, because there was no effect of Emancipation Proclamation. Therefore, Martin Luther King started another movement, and it was the beginning of movement, the movement of civil rights. Advice of Martin to his people. Martin advised his people, so huge number of people who came from nook and corner of America. It was 100,000 people, 2 lakh people who came to listen to him. He advised them not to use any violence against the white people to win for their rights. He went for peaceful protest. He believed that the white people must be their power, their support. They should not lose that sport by losing them, by launching an agitation that will cause bloodshed. So he went for peaceful movement. When, according to Martin, Negro will be satisfied. Martin Luther King, in his speech, addressed the people that their struggle will be satisfied only after winning the rights for the black people, when they will have the basic rights of humanity. He is speaking repeatedly of dream. So this dream is a speech, is a title of his speech he made in Washington in the presence of 2 lakh people. That is called the dream. That the dream was the dream of freedom, the dream of basic rights for the black people. What was his faith? His faith was equality, that all people are born equal, they should have equal rights to progress, to develop, to participate. Therefore, it was his faith. People are born equal. There should not be discrimination. There should not be any discrimination on the basis of color, creed, religion, and race. So these are a few questions we must have in mind before reading. Now students, in the end we have vocabulary. Before reading this lesson, you must go through these vocabulary items, these words, so that you will understand in a better way the text of the book. You must give a keen ear to it. Listen attentively their pronunciation and the meanings. Alleghenies. Alleghenies is a range of mountains in Pennsylvania. A range of mountains in Pennsylvania, in America. A range of mountains that is called Alleghenies. Here the regular reference of Alleghenies is that people also came from Alleghenies, these mountain areas in America, to listen to to listen to Martin Luther King and his speech. So it is Alleghenies. Beacon again is, as Beacon House school system is also invoked. Beacon means light. Beacon light. So he told that his speech, this movement will be a beacon, a light for the black people. Curvaceous is a word from curve. In physics and in geometry, you must have read this word curve. So curve means curvaceous means having different curves. Next is devotees. A person who devotes his life to something is called a devotee. A follower of some movement, you can say. Discrimination, this is very important word over here. Discrimination is to violate people's right, लोगों को right ना देना on the basis of color, creed उनकी या religion की बेस पे, or on the basis of their race or basis of language even. That is called discrimination. Next is Gentile. Gentile means Christian, Isai. Hallowed means holy, sacred, pak. Air. This is not here. Air. As just AIR हवा वाला जो होता है. Air means waris, someone who is who will own the property of someone. Appalling means horrible, frightening. Catholic is basically Christian church. Decree, decision, the government judgment, you can say. Discontent, dissatisfied, not satisfied. Emancipation, we had already read, which means freedom, liberty, independence. Ghetto is the slum area, hut area where the black people live in a very in a condition of bad poverty. Hamlet are the small villages. Interposition, when someone takes the position to talk between two persons. Baptist minister here does not mean minister as we have vizier. Minister means a Christian leader, a Christian sometimes we can say religious leader, padri. Minister, padri. Baptist is in Christian terminology. Creed, faith. Desolate remote area that is without any plantation, or you can say deserts. Discard, differences, dispute, even ikhtilafat, controversy, fatigue, thakawat, tiredness. Gradualism means something gradually, slowly, heightening on the heights, because reference is to the heightening mountains, as the mountains are heightening. Invigorating means vigor. Vigor means energy. Invigorating, which gives you energy. So these are the vocabulary items. You must try to understand them and learn them. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll uh, make some assignments with them, and I'll put you question, and I will have a quiz with you. Therefore, you must be well prepared before taking class. That's the end. Best of luck. Allah Hafiz.